Morning, YouTube pipe community. This is Grandpa Cavendish from Huntington, New York, on a brisk November morning. Actually, I'd say more than brisk. It's downright cold outside right now. It's 32 degrees, and there is a stiff northwest wind blowing this morning, which is why I'm sitting inside this morning at my kitchen table here and not outside where I normally prefer to be, because it's nice and sunny, but the wind is just too strong. Smoking a Moro Armellini brandy glass shaped pipe, I think. And in it, Peter Stokkebye Luxury Twist Flake. And that's one of the flakes there if you've not seen this particular tobacco. It's a Virginia, described as Cavendish pressed and cut. It's a tasty tobacco. It's similar to a lighter Virginia, like maybe an Orlik Golden Sliced or something on that order, with just a hint of a caramel type of topping, maybe. It smells great in the jar. You can hear that a little gurgle there. Sometimes can burn a little on the warm side and maybe create a little that gurgle. But it's a fairly nice tobacco. It's a good, relatively mild one. I think it would be good everyday type of smoke. My thought for today is I'm a pharmacist by trade, and one of the things that pharmacists are trained to do is to do what used to be called compounding, which is basically following a recipe, mixing things together to fill a prescription, in other words. And in the old days, that's how most of the prescriptions were filled. There weren't any, or very few, pills, capsules that were produced by pharmaceutical companies. The druggists more or less put these things together in powder paper form or capsule form or ointments or creams, and they actually made them up in the store themselves. So I was trained to do that, and I got into it primarily because I always enjoyed doing that. With regard to cooking, for the most part, I always like to cook, put things together like that. So that's why I got into the pharmacy in the first place. But what does all this have to do with pipe tobacco? I guess you're wondering that. And I was just wondering if any of you all had thoughts out there with regard to blending together different tobaccos that you received over the years that were good, but maybe weren't exactly to your liking. You wanted to kind of tweak them a certain way or whatever. And what got me thinking about this recently is I was viewing Holy Smoking Pipe Padre's, I think, most recent video. And in the comment section below, a fellow by the name of Mike, and I can't recall his screen name, sorry, Mike, but I think the Padre was talking a little bit about some of the old-time tobaccos, and I had mentioned Carter Hall, and that prompted Mike to comment that he combines Northwoods, Boswell's Northwoods, with Carter Hall. And he does it to bring out the flavor, to amplify the flavor of the tobacco. And I had recently received some Boswell Northwoods, and I really love the flavor of it. It's a great tobacco. It's in maybe an aromatic English, you might say. It's a mixture of Latakia and Black Cavendish, with a kind of a woodsy, piney type of flavor. It's very, very tasty. But I was having difficulty keeping it lit. Probably not the tobacco's fault. It's more my fault and my pipe skills, I think, that need improvement. But I thought, well, let me try that. That sounds like a great tip there. So I did so, and it really made it so much better to smoke for me. I was able to enjoy it without having to go through a lot of relights, which was my problem before. And the flavor basically was the same. It didn't change. So I got to thinking, wow, maybe I should think about this with some of the other tobaccos that I have laying around that I haven't been using that much just because I've had difficulty with them in the past. And one of the tobaccos that I've kind of just had on the side is this Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Twist Flake. I had ordered, I think, 8 ounces of it. Pretty good sized jar there. And I haven't been using it a lot, only because I tended to get, in addition to that gurgle that you just heard earlier, but not a tongue bite. I wouldn't call it tongue bite, but it was more of just a general irritation of the mouth and tongue. And I'm not getting it too much right now, but I've had this laying around now for about 6 months. So maybe it's beginning to mellow. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that's what's helping it. But I was thinking maybe I should try mixing this with something and seeing if that might tend to change it a little bit. So that kind of prompted my my video for today, is just to see if you all have any ideas with regard to blending some of these various tobaccos together. If you do that yourselves now and you have a recipe that you enjoy, you'd like to share with the community, that would be super. If you have any ideas what to do with this one, that would be great. And I think that might be something that could be very beneficial for a lot of us. And I'm not necessarily talking about the blending, buying blending tobacco and creating your own blend, but you certainly could do that, and that's something I may very well think about, because that's right up my alley. But for the time being, I'm just talking about maybe blending some of these proprietary products that we already have, and seeing if we could kick them up a notch, let's say. So that's my thought for today. If you all have some ideas like that, that would be most welcome. And let's leave it at that. So everyone have a wonderful day today. Enjoy the rest of the week. Hopefully our weather is going to stay nice and sunny. It's going to be cold here in the Northeast, but if it stays nice and sunny, I'm okay with that. I may get a chance to go outside and smoke my pipe later on if the wind dies down. So have a great week, everyone. Enjoy your days and enjoy your pipes. Speak to you all soon. Thanks again.